Welcome back to round 2 of the adventures in typing paper and stacked paper, torn paper on what we're doing. I have a few of the essentials that we have here. Look, all my stuff dried out. That's pretty cool. And since I dried it out on that paper, you notice they're pretty straight, pretty stiff, and not curled on those. And so now comes time to put things together. Items that I have that are going to be helpful: glue stick and the tape for taping those things together, and some scissors in case we need to do a little bit of cutting. So let's start in the back. Okay, the very furthest thing away that we have was the sky, and so that's step number 1. I need the sky. Step number 2 on the things that we have is I needed the mountain on that. These are some that I actually did a little bit earlier to see if it was actually going to work, but I need to put the mountain in here. And so the mountain, let's say, is going to go, kind of looking at it and saying, well, it looks pretty good, maybe right there. So I'm going to take my little bit of tape. Now we had some edges along the side here, right, that we worked with. And so I'm going to take and I'm going to put just a thin piece of tape right like that. And I'll just stick that together. Going to peel it off my table real easily so I can, and then I'm just going to take and I'm going to fold that around to the back side so that will hold that piece in place. Okay, that's good. Now I'm going to come over here to the other side and smooth that out, make sure we're in the right place, and then put this little bit of tape right here along the edge like that. Peel it up a little bit so it doesn't come off, and then wrap it around to the back side so it holds it really well. Now the cool thing about this this particular painting is you'll notice we actually have, when we have our overlapping, you can actually see that the whole thing's overlapping for us, and so that's an awesome sort of a deal. Okay, so now I got my mountain in on top of, we have the sky, then we have the mountain, which is the next closest thing to us. Now we need our valley. Let's bring that in from the side here, and so our valley is going to go in here on our next layer. Let's bring in a little bit more tape and do one side at a time. Let's see, let's make sure we look. It doesn't have to be necessarily even with the side. It needs to look good in through here. And so that's what our main key is. And so this is where those are overlapping. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And it's going to need to wrap around behind to hold it into place. That's a good one. Okay, so this has to come up just a little bit more. I think I like it kind of like that. What do you guys think? Something like that? Does that look pretty good? Okay. And put my tape a little bit higher. Oh, you guys can't see when I do it that way. Let's switch hands. I am not left-handed, so this is my disclaimer on taping with my left hand. And then wrap it around to the back side like that. Okay. Now I need these little guys here. Now remember I was telling you before, this is one that I actually taped on the end here, right here to hold, and so I kind of broke that off. But you're probably going to have a little bit of a white edge right down here on the bottom. So what I want you to do with that is this. Come and just take your scissors and cut off that little thin, that little bit of the white edge you have where the tape was on that bottom one. So when it sits down here, it can sit down here smooth on that. So just a little bit of that trimmed off. Let's see, do I want that one? That one has to go this way. So I was going to trim off a little bit of the bottom there, right where we had that little extra showing. So that one's going to go here. I think let's go ahead and put in the water. I think we can put in the water on that. So we can, here's your choice. Here's your choice. You can have the ground of the bottom of the valley as your water. And as such, you can slide this up and you can decide how much water you actually need underneath it like that. Or if you're saying, you know, that's a little thick, I want the water to come up a little bit higher, maybe something more like that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I don't want the valley that big. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece about here like that. I'm going to hold it in place. Let's find my tape. And then put some tape along the side here. Lift that up. And then I'm going to fold it around so it kind of holds it in place. And then do the same thing over here on this side. Put my tape along there so it attaches really well. And then wrap it around here. That's pretty good. All right. Now I need these guys over here. Now here's the deal. I can't put tape on here because if I put that magic transparent tape on there that's not that magic or that transparent, it's going to look kind of weird for me on that. But let's do this. Let's at least tape our sides down, right? So I want this one to be, I want it to go up and over this mountain a little bit. I want it to cover up some of the valley on that. So I'm going to have that about right here. I'm going to tape it up just a little higher like this, so that I can see that it's taped to those other parts. That's going to make it easier to flip around to the back side. And then I'm going to flip it around here to the back side. I think I wanted the bottom taped as well. I'm going to come back in here and tape this down a little bit. And make sure it overlaps into the water side of things too. Okay, now this can be kind of loose, which is not necessarily bad. There's a little bit of shadow on there, but if you want things tighter, and this can be true of all of these, you could use either your trusted Elmer's on that one, school glue, or this guy here is going to work pretty good for me. If I can make the magic. This has purple on it. How cool is that? And I can just come back in like this and put some of this glue stick on here to hold this piece in place. Like that. Oh, look at that. That has some really cool edges when that overlaps as well. I'm going to put this, I need a little bit more right here on the end. Should have probably went right to the edge there. That's pretty good though. I'm liking that. Where was that other one? Okay, now this one is going to go over here. It's going to be that little island sort of a deal we have. And I took a very long piece of tape and set that here. I could get it from floor to ceiling, so to speak. So it goes a little bit into the sky and a little bit in the water and a lot bit into the other thing. Let me peel that up gently. I happen to have a piece of plastic on this table of mine, so it makes it really easy for things to peel up. And we discovered last time on the other side that I want to make sure that the glue is here. Now if you're worried about getting glue on your table, put a magic piece under here like this so you can glue that whole area. And make it so it sticks. But you don't have to go all the way to the edges up here. You can. You don't have to. Okay, let's now fold that back over. Oh, it's cool. Look, I'm getting some shadows and some light in from the sides. And all of a sudden, and the way it curls, it makes it actually look three-dimensional to where this is a three-dimensional piece working for you there. That's perfect. Okay, here's the last little bit. Some birds. Here's some of the black stuff I have. If you make little triangles, let me show you what I'm talking about. If you take an edge and you make a slice like this, and you make a slice, oops, I probably can't see that. I was down a little low, on that one, and so I'm going to cut off some pieces of paper. This is huge, right? This is like pterodactyl size. If I made a piece like that, I made a slice, and then I made another slice like that, and I made another one of those. If I want, I can draw right around. I'm just going to guess. And say that it looks to be about like that angle, and maybe this size here. Okay, so these are the size of the types of the papers I'm going to cut. Now if you do this, let's see if I can get that right. And you make that cut like that. All of a sudden it starts to look like a bird flying through the air with those two wings, and it has a little bit of a swallowtail for it, which is kind of cool. So that's what I'm going to do. First I've got to find where my paper went. I think crash to the ground here for a second. Okay, so here's my paper. I'm just going to take and I'm going to cut a strip off like this of my black. Okay, then I'm going to take that strip, I'm going to cut it just so it's really long with the diagonal like that. Okay, now I'm going to come back and I'm going to put these either black side to black side or white side to white side, I think is what I got to do on that one, because this one here is a reflection of that one. So if they are reflections of each other, I need to make sure that we're either doing black to black or white to white. Otherwise it'll be backwards. Okay, so here we go. How big does this need to be? Okay, this is going to be a good size bird. I may only put 3 of these on here. And so we've got black to black, and I'm going to make that cut right there, like that. And then if I have this piece here and this piece here, I should have a bird. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, so let's take this back over here and take my glue stick. There's some scrap paper. I need some scrap paper here. And I'm going to take my glue stick on my scrap paper and I'm going to rub it that way. And I'm going to rub it that way. So I got glue all over the back. I'm going to peel it up. And I think we'll just do 3 birds on that one. And so I'm going to have one bird right here flying just slightly off center. I'm going to glue him down like that. Take bird number 2. Make sure that I don't stick it into the glue, but maybe the side where I glued. So now I got both sides of that. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to just match them up so that I'm looking here at the swallowtail part of it, right? And that the tip, the wings match up like that. That's a little bit far down. Maybe we need to move it over a little bit. Like that. And so now we have one bird. I'm going to go ahead and tape another one over here. So I think just 3 birds will work. That way these are big enough to work for our painting. And so that, I think, is going to be how we're going to wrap it up. One more bird down here, another bird over here. The angles don't have to be exactly on the wings. They can be up or down a little bit like that. But we've utilized a paper that absorbs all this stuff and is not really a great high quality paper for watercolor painting, but we've created a pretty good watercolor painting on that paper by using a cut or torn paper technique. And that is it. Thanks.